Settings need to
Okay.
change.
So, hello. This is Brother Benson Media, and I'm joined this evening with my good friend Marco Bura. Marco Bura Barigani.
Good evening. I'm okay. I'm doing good. I thank God. I hope you're also okay or fine
Mm.
wherever you are.
Yep, I'm fine. And as I told you earlier, it's just a matter of um, wo- working self out and trying to make some money, which is not coming in handy. It's not. Is Aupati kabisa kabisa. Makubura, I want to know your view. The other day, Migori Youth Sports Club graduated from Super League to Premier League, and they had an opportunity to visit President at the State House together with their leaders. That included Uriri Member of Parliament, Honorable Mark Nyamita, and also Ochila Yako, who is the governor, and he was accompanied by a member of County Assembly from North Kanyamkago, Honorable Odhiambo Mamba. And Odhiambo Mamba, when he was given an opportunity to speak, he said something, especially to the president. And this one was regarding about two-term, whereby he said that they're looking into on how to extend the term limit, especially for president. He was very specific, especially for President Ruto, due to the kind of development that President William Ruto has done. And remember, when we talk about term limit, there's a cap of such in the constitution that says that the president will go for 10 years. What do you make of such utterances, especially coming from a leader?
Okay. Thank you so much. I think wherever we've gotten as a country, we are past those kind of mentality or political suggestions
Mhm.
from the so-called close allies of William Samoei Arap Ruto, who is the president.
Yeah.
I believe that our constitution is mature enough. I believe that we have matured in terms of democracy, and of course, based on the many things that we've witnessed as a country, and
Mm.
being that we are also surrounded by many countries. This is Africa, and of course, we've always said Africa is our business. But there are certain things that I don't think or I don't believe we can allow or accept at this particular moment. We've had leaders, we've had people coming out with that kind of suggestion, but I can categorically say that I don't think that
Mm.
Kenyans can allow or Kenyans can get to the extent of doing away with the constitution to make one person, William Samoei Ruto, a president more than 10 years. I
Mhm.
don't think that can happen. And if it does happen, then I believe that it would be the worst mistake that the country will be witnessing.
Oh,
We have
okay, go
a
ahead.
constitution that gives a
Mm.
maximum of
Yeah.
up to two terms, that is 5 5, a total of
Mm.
10 years.
Mhm.
Within that particular period, it's enough for any serious leader to do
Mm.
whatever they want to do without, you know,
Mhm.
taking much time of the people. Leadership is not, then we don't have specific people who are born to be leaders.
Yeah.
We have quite a number of people within the republic, people who can lead. So it is not a matter of death and life and death. It is not a must that one person has to be the president milele na milele. It cannot happen at this particular stage that we've reached. And should those kind of mentality be brought forth,
Yeah.
I think we will really personally, and of course the people of Kenya, we will not allow. It is not right. It is against the will of the people.
Mm.
It is against even the will of other Kenyans
Mm.
who in their normal senses knows and
Mhm.
understands very well that we have, if it is a matter of learning, why do I mean if it is a matter of people maybe uh
Mm.
going to get to study to become leaders, we
Mhm.
have quite a number of people with who are professors in that particular field. If it is a matter of talent given by God, we have quite a number. If the president, let me just add this: President William
Mm.
Samoei Ruto has been a member of parliament. There is no miracle he's ever done in his constituency that today you can tell us that if you go to
Mm.
that constituency, people will say that we've never had one like William Samoei Ruto. No,
Yeah.
there's nobody saying that in his particular constituency. He has been a deputy president. Part of the challenges that we are facing today as the people of Kenya,
Yeah.
part of the miscalculations that were done, they were
Mm,
done when he was the second most powerful person in the Republic of Kenya. If
mm,
things were then supposed to be changed,
mm.
if good decisions were supposed to be made,
Yeah.
then he ought to have done so. Now that he's at the helm,
Mm,
now that he's the driver, there's so many people. Negativity, the goonism. We
mm,
cannot survive in a country, for example, more than 10 years that we are still having William Samoei Ruto as the president and
mm,
with goons roaming around. We
mm.
will not have it easy, or maybe these goons would have taken over. So
Okay. All
we
right.
cannot.
Thank you. All right. But now I want to be very specific, especially on the county member of assembly, especially from Migori, that is Honorable Odhiambo Mamba. Based on his expression that he expressed that now we should look into especially the constitution, the time limit, and we know that we have a cap in the constitution, and he was very specific that this should be done especially for President William Ruto. Do you think he was doing that because he wanted to make president happy, or is something that he was doing bearing in mind that that is the view of the people that he represents, especially people from North
That
Kenya?
that is that is not the view of the people. That is a specific
He,
individual
he has
who
a
is looking for.
representation. He has a
It
representation.
does. It does
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
It does have.
yeah.
And I'll give you a good example.
Yes.
Why sometimes, as much as these leaders do represent people, most majority of times they don't really
Mm,
represent the views of the people,
mm,
and that can be taken to the bank.
mhm.
Remember what happened in 2024. The people of Kenya came out and said they didn't want the finance bill to be passed.
Yeah.
The legislators, in their own capacity, decided to move around and come up with falsehood
Mhm.
accusations, accusing the people that they were okay with it. What
Yeah.
then happened? It had to
Mhm.
be withdrawn.
Mhm.
The members of parliament had difficulties even going to their hometowns.
Yeah.
That is a clear indication that, well, we have leaders, they've been elected, but majority of them do not represent the views of the people that
Mhm.
elected them. I
Okay.
can justify the same by the comments of that particular member of county assembly. But
Mhm.
if I do a deep analysis, I can simply say that this gentleman,
Mhm.
I mean, that member of county assembly just wanted, to be noted or
Uh-huh.
to be given some. He knows what he was looking for from the
Yeah.
president, but it
Mhm.
is not the view of the people. It is
Mhm.
a wrong. It's a bad thought to
Mhm.
me. If you ask me, and many people who are seriously living in this country,
Mhm.
those people who are not probably employed by the government, but the majority of people who have struggled on their way
Yeah.
to partly get somewhere so that they can survive. People are suffering in this country, and whoever is still coming out to give that proposal is negatively thinking. And
Yeah.
let me also ask this question: if
Mhm.
Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta never, as a president, never came out to look for that kind of extension,
Yeah.
then what is so new that William Samoei Ruto, who also served as the deputy president, would then come and be
Mhm.
given more than 10 years? I think
Mhm.
that is a thinking that we should not embrace at this particular moment. We are a
Mhm.
progressive country. Look
Mhm.
at what happened in America. Obama was and is still being said as one of the most progressive, the most or the best, president that America has ever had. He
Mhm.
has been praised by the world. He has been praised by the leaders. As
Mhm.
much as he was a good president, he only took 8 years.
Mhm.
So, and he did the massive things that people are still speaking about up to date.
Yeah.
Whoever, and remember, let me just give a clarification again about Obama.
Mhm.
The many times, he actually took few years in the political limelight compared to what the president William Samoei Ruto has had.
Mhm.
William Samoei Ruto has never worked anywhere else apart from being a politician. He was elected
Mhm.
when he was still a youthful leader. So
Yeah.
if there were changes, from the deeds of the people. I think those are the things that should clarify and partly guide the people on who
Yeah.
on who and what kind of leaders should be given opportunity. But based on his record, it
Mhm.
does not warrant an extension. That is my thought.
All right, thank you so much. This has made me thinking, especially the kind of leadership that we usually put in place, and you reflect back on the framers of our constitution, and when you look at it critically, and where we were coming from, especially during the time when the new constitution was brought in place, the framers felt that the 5 years, they added 1 year because like they took they were taking that route that American took. American, you have to go for 4 years, 4 years, but Kenya gave it 10 years. They wanted to do away with the perpetual presidency, especially remember how President Moi was just running, and there was no term limit, especially for president, and that's why they said that, okay, now we need
If
to have
if
to
you,
come
if
up.
you mention that,
Yeah,
if you mention that, so many questions comes into my mind.
yeah,
That during that period, remember, I was not there, but I've read
yeah,
books.
yeah.
For 27 good years, Daniel Arap Samoei Ruto was a president, and
No,
he had
Daniel Arap Moi.
yes. Remember the close allies, the likes of the what
Yeah.
and the many things that they did. We cannot
Mhm.
get back to that kind of a
Yeah,
government, because
and
let me give a clear clarification. Look at the
mhm,
government of Daniel Arap Samoei Ruto. He had
mhm,
close allies who would then get out and do things for him, who
mhm,
would then get out and discipline people for him. Look at what we are experiencing today. There are so
mm,
many accusations, and the people who are being accused of
mm,
partly even paying the goods are close allies within the government. What does that
mhm.
tell you?
Yeah,
With them then being put closer, what kind of environment or country are we going to have? We
yeah.
need to reject that mentality at all, at all.
Okay, thank you so much. And I was just thinking it this way, and reflecting back, as you say, that some of the history that we read of 27 years of Kanu rule, especially with President Moi being in power without term limits on the presidency. And that's why the framers of our constitution brought about the 10 years term limit. And this one was to give the president who is, or anybody who is elected president, that you have like 5 years, for the first 5 years to do your job. You can come and seek the mandate of the people. If the people feel that you've done a very good job, they can re-elect you. And they were running away, or they were graduating from that kind of presidential, whereby there were no term limits, to put a cap on it. But now, when you see a member of parliament, a member of county assembly is saying this, and remember, is not just only saying it for the presidency. For the presidency, he was very particular, especially for President William Ruto. So the question could be, what if immediately after President William Ruto, maybe you decided to give him those 10 years that you wanted, or how many years you wanted on that? When he leaves, what will happen? Does it mean that you're going to amend the constitution again because somebody is coming in, or is going to stay like that? I don't know whether you've you muted.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I believe, or I think that we, the people of Kenya,
Mm,
we are wise enough.
mm,
And I partly agree with something that, it is the will of the people. If it is
yeah.
the will of the people, it is
Mm.
okay.
Yes.
But in this instance, this is not the will of the people. This is something that is being forced. But again, let me put it this way. I think anything that is constitutional, that requires constitutional change,
Hmm.
it has to be people driven, not political driven.
Yes.
Anything that is politically driven, look at the BBI.
Hmm.
Look at what was happening the other day, NADCO, the NADCO. Anything that
That's
is being spearheaded by the political class,
hmm.
there's nothing positive that the citizens will ever get.
Yeah.
And we need to be very candid and very honest.
Hmm.
Because if we really want to change this nation,
Hmm.
then let the people give their ideas. And then
mm,
if it is a people driven agenda,
mm.
the truth of the matter is it would benefit the people.
Yeah.
It is on record that anything that is spearheaded by the political class can never
Mhm.
and will never and has never
Yeah.
sorted or solved the challenges of the people of Kenya. That
Mm.
is part of the thing that we as the people of Kenya, we really need to get out and
Yeah.
be very particular and have this kind of conversation with a very sober mind.
Yeah.
If we want to change this nation, it is
Mhm.
upon the people of Kenya to get out
Mhm.
and simply give their intake.
Yeah.
It is upon the people of Kenya to advise the political class, not the
Mm.
political class doing the vice versa, advising them.
Okay.
Kenya is one of the homes of the most learned people,
Mhm.
people in different fields. The political class do not even represent, let me say, even a quarter of the most learned people in the Republic of Kenya.
Mm.
These leaders that we have, they need to consult the people
Yeah.
because the constitution is very particular.
Mm.
Government is a government of the people, for the
Mm.
people, and by the
Mm.
people. Any decision they are making, it has to come. I mean, it has to come from the people. But
Mm.
in this instance, you find a member
Mhm.
of parliament, a member of parliament, a senator, an MCA, because they feel or they want attention from the president or they want some money or they're
Yes.
looking for personal benefits, they
Yes.
want to now use their interest to force the
Mhm.
people of Kenya. The other
Yeah.
day I was watching at how is he called? This member of parliament from, is it Awendo?
Whose name is
Is
that?
it I think it's Masara, if I'm not
Masara
wrong.
is coming all the way from Suna. I think it's Suna between Suna West of, yeah. Masara is from
Yeah,
Suna.
the other day they were in Citizen TV having a conversation
Mhm.
in the morning, and he was being asked about what he thinks about the goons.
Mhm.
And in a national TV or television, he says that 40% of recruitments of police and all this defense should be given to the goons. And I remember that journalist asking him, I think I should find it for you so that I play, so that you see the kind of leaders that we have. So, and
Can you find that
let me
clip?
just find it. And he
Okay,
tries to,
as you find that clip, yes, and those are some of the things that we need to discuss, because, like, when you're talking about progressive society, you have to progress, but now if we are supposed to progress and we are having what you call a retrogressive society, we are not going anywhere, because even like on this issue of goons that we need also to touch on, I tend to agree. Today I was watching this guy from Kisumu is called Pascal Sungu, and what Pascal Sungu said about the issue of goons, especially one, the people who are using the goons, it exposes you, especially as a goon, and immediately the next government, or even if President William Ruto takes the power the second term, you've now exposed yourself. And what will happen? The government will not tolerate anybody who can cause disturbance to the people, and you will find out yourself using your life. So Pascal had a very good advice, especially for young people who are engaged in the goonism. At the end of the day, look at what you're being given vis-a-vis uh, long term. you know if somebody's giving you 500 shillings or 50 shillings or 200 shillings to go and kill a fellow youth, or to cause disturbance or to cause harm to a fellow somebody whom they're not very new to you, you know what then happens? you know Makobura. Okay, as you look for the clip, there's also something that also I want you to weigh your thoughts on, and this issue of goons. There's a do I call it a system, or there's a behavior that has always happened, is characteristics or characterized with what happens, especially with young people. If you see all these politicians who hire these young people and cause this atrocity to their opponents and to other people, when they die, or when some of them lose their lives, especially on their line of duty, based on what they've been given, you go to their homes. It speaks differently when you go to their homes. The pictures that home shows, it tells you deep rooted poverty, deep rooted poverty, and even the politicians do not know where they're coming from. But immediately we lose these young people, these young men who are to do all this criminality. That's when you will see Makobura, the politicians, building houses, bringing all manner of foods, bringing tents, making it, to see that this guy has been given a send off. So my question to you, Makobura, why is it that the money that you are using to hire these goons, yeah, is much way lesser than what they are using to do the send off? So does it mean that they value their lives when they die, but when they are still alive, their lives do not matter to them? That is, what is your take on that? Hello,
Okay, thank
Makobura.
you. I'll share with you that by all
Yeah.
means. My phone is can't find it on this other gadget. My phone
Okay.
is still charging.
All right.
I'll share with you that, and before
Mhm.
the end, possibly would have shared it.
Okay.
Yes, on the issue of it is. Let me call
Value the
it
life.
life,
Value.
life
How
and death.
worth? What is the worth of life of young men who are being hired by these politicians? What is their value, especially before the politicians?
It is. I think it. This is some of the most toughest things that Kenyans are witnessing,
Yeah.
and I can say that I've always said that life is a very sacred thing. Life is a God-given gift
Yeah.
that only God, only God is
Hmm.
the one that is fully in charge of life.
Yeah.
Whenever God has given you this opportunity or life, then as a people or as a government,
Hmm.
this life has to be taken and treated with a lot of, uh, you know, uh, uh, with a lot of seriousness that it deserves.
Yeah.
Life is the only thing that today, if you are alive, there is no possible. I mean, if you are alive and then you die, you can never come back again. And
Yes.
whether the productiveness in you is gone, I mean, was there. Once
Yeah.
you're dead, you're dead.
You did.
In short, you are finished and you'll never exist again.
It is not a rehearsal.
Yes, it cannot be reversed. Let me put
Mm.
it so. It is so painful that such a thing, and with the productive youth, with the
Mm.
productive minds,
Mhm.
people are just like life is no longer respected,
Mhm.
life is no longer valued,
Mhm.
life is treated it's treated as a very simple thing. Like today in the Republic of Kenya, the same way sometimes back you during Christmas, people would slaughter cocks,
Mhm.
and with of course people slightly with some emotion but not so much.
Yes.
Today people are being killed in a similar way, and I think it is the
Mm.
most painful thing that fellow human beings are killing fellow human beings at
Brothers.
a very high rate in the republic, to an extent that I think the humanity even in us is no longer there, and
Mm.
people sit down, plan for all these things.
Mhm.
And if you look at the reasons why people are being killed, you ask
Mm.
yourself, does it really warrant death? Does it
Mhm.
really, is there justification?
For
You
for
find
for those
that,
deaths.
yeah, you find that just somebody
Mm.
has called the name of a certain politician,
Mm.
and then because you think that person probably is a threat,
Mm.
you guys are looking for political seat, and
Mm.
I don't know. It is a difficult thing, and
Yeah. Uh,
need to get back into our normal minds and treat politics as it is, and treat human beings with the special dignity that it deserves.
so there's something that I've really seen, especially on these issues that is going on. Yesterday, one of the boys who lost his life, I watched the interview, especially of the father, and from the look of things, you would see that this family are in the lower cadre of the society in terms of financial strength. They're in the lower cadre, and these are people who have struggled, you know, with life, and even the Mzee to upbring his son. And now Mzee is losing the son as in circumstances that if we were um, uh, intelligent enough, you know,
Things that can be avoided,
yes, we could have
things that
avoided that.
does not
That
warrant.
that was not a death that you could say that, okay, this you know and together.
There is that death that is being caused out of somebody's stupidity, out of somebody not thinking that you don't deserve living, out of somebody not thinking that I wonder how they do this.
Yeah.
And because of 200 shillings, because of
Mm,
50 shillings,
mm.
because you get closer to somebody that they think is so powerful.
No, what usually happens today. I was also I came across one of the clips. Mark Nyamita, honorable member of Uriri, was having an interview, and he said something that makes sense. That nobody will enjoy the leadership, especially if he wins the governorship, than his family or his son or the people who are close, the close family members, you know. And nobody or no any other day you will see a politician bringing their sons and families on the street. Yeah. So what does that one tells you? It tells you because they value their families and the life of their family, you know, and they are established, you know. Their children are not going to any other schools, especially they are going to very good schools. They are the children of the politicians, they are friends. But to you, who feels that you love this politician more than your life, your life, you risk and kill your brother, you know. So even if he wins, the next person who is going to enjoy that leadership is him, together with the family members. Because if a member of parliament wins today, the security will be given to him. They not ask for those your security. So it requires you to think more deeper, be intelligent enough, and say that there are things that you can avoid, you know, and the value of life that we were talking about. Because, like, I still cannot understand, after you going there to protect this member of parliament, you know, when you lose your life, you know, you look at the money that you are being hired for, or the money that you are procured. You are only procured for 500 a day, but when you lose your life, they are going to buy a coffin of 30,000. They are going to put on tents. They are going to build your house and promise to take care of your family, your younger family, um, to please the people, to show that to show those who are mourning, or at that particular moment in time, that he's a caring leader. But in the long run, it's not going to happen, you know. So you end up finding that when they bury you, or when you're being buried, they spend more, especially the politicians spend more on your burial, yeah, than what they spend when they procure for those services. So it requires intelligent. You should be intelligent enough and avoid some of these deaths, especially, or avoid some of these activities that you are being hired for. Okay, that's Makobura. Those are the some of the things that we wanted to weigh our thoughts on, especially on the utterances or the pronouncement that was made by member of county assembly from Migori County, to be very specific, Honorable George Odhiambo Mamba, that is MCA from North Kanyamkago, concerning the term limit extension of the presidency. And also, we were talking about the value of life, especially if you are somebody who is hired as a goon to go and create mayhem, then you end up losing your life, or you end up killing your neighbor just because you've been hired to do so. So, young people, we should think about that. Makubura, we are having a by-election tomorrow. There will be a voting in Kalou. The security has been beefed. Actually, so many resources has been put in place, especially on Kalou, by the security officers to man that by-election. And the question is, this is a true litmus test, especially for IEBC. Remember when we had Mbere, Malaba, and Kabondo Kasipol, there were a lot of violence during, or the night before election and during election, that scared so many people, you know. And what are they going to do better or what are they going to improve on, especially going to All Kalau by election? So that is something that we have to look at. We're also looking at the litmus test for President William Ruto. Remember, where we are having this election, especially in Mount Kenya region, is where President William Ruto in 2022 got majority of votes. Remember, the member of parliament who died was not from his political party, but the presidential vote he got from that constituency was higher, you know, and going to by election today, actually the government has put more resources. Remember the gas, the mattresses, the boats, and the money, unga na kila kitu. It tells you how they were very serious about this by election. They have to win it, so that he can still say that he controls Mount Kenya. On the other hand, is also a litmus test for Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua disagreed with President William Ruto and he was impeached. And now he's speaking on behalf of Mount Kenya. And he said that these are his people. So this is a litmus test for him. So if, for example, President William Ruto wins this by-election in All Kalau, what does it mean, especially going forward in 2027? And what does it mean for Rigathi Gachagua? What does it mean for President William Ruto? But if President William Ruto loses this election, what does it mean for Rigathi Gachagua? To begin with, what is your take, especially on IEBC? What do you think IEBC is going to do quite much differently as compared to the previous by-election that this IEBC has conducted?
Yeah. Thank you. We've seen. I can say that this is IBC's litmus test.
Yeah.
Whether they be able to offer free, fair, and verifiable is a story that probably people would have as from tomorrow.
Yes.
We've had same old stories of IEBC litmus test. We've had people question the fairness, the free, fair, and verifiable elections. It has even gotten to the Supreme Court several times, not once, but several times. We've even seen the nullification of presidential election for that matter, which was also a very serious litmus test for the judiciary. And then what then came out is there were clarification that the judiciary gave through Emeritus Chief Justice David Maraga. David Maraga did say very well that election is a process, and it is a process that starts from a certain point to a certain point. If one of the processes or one of the stages or is violated, then it then renders the whole process to have been unfair, probably unfree, and therefore the verification would also not be justifiable. And that is why, if we are to go by the comments of Chief Justice Emeritus David Maraga, then I think we ought then to be very categorical and truthful to the extent of putting it as it is. We've witnessed bribery. We've seen allegations of bribery. They've been recorded during this campaign period.
Yes.
We've seen the government side or the candidate of the government side being treated or being supported by the government machineries, including even cabinet secretaries. What does the constitution speaks about? For example, the cabinet secretaries, they are not supposed to involve themselves in political activity. They are not supposed to take part or to look like they are not siding with certain population based on either they're not supposed to have political stance. But what have we witnessed? We've witnessed that particular constitution not being respected, not being followed. Again, we've seen massive projects Well, the people or the citizens deserve projects. They deserve investment from government. They deserve goodies from the government. But the question then is, the government did produce, did investment. Was it the right time? What was the intention of the government giving
Yeah.
this particular development at this
Mhm.
particular point or at this particular time?
Yeah.
Those are the questions. The answer is they were
Mhm.
trying to bribe the people, they were trying to coerce the people, they were trying to uh, trigger the emotional intelligence of these particular citizens so
Mhm.
that they would have it easy considering or giving the candidate of the government a chance. That is
Mhm.
not right if we are supposed to be following the law, and we need to call it as it is. If we really need change, and I've said,
Mhm.
if we
Mhm.
really need uh, positivity in matters of election, if you
Mhm.
want truth, if you want fairness, if you
Mhm.
want an election that can be verified, to
Yeah.
be verified, then
Mhm.
we have to respect the law, follow the process, and ensure that all the processes
Yeah.
are adhered to, the law is also adhered to. Because
Mhm.
I can tell you for free, if the government candidate wins,
Yeah.
then the DCP, and not just the DCP,
Mhm.
any other person would get to court. And that is
Yeah.
going to make it tough for the people of Kalou to experience what we call development.
Mhm.
Well, whoever will be going would be justifiable to get to the court.
Mhm.
But look at this instance.
Mhm.
Why would you go against the law and give somebody a reason to go to court,
Mhm.
knowing very well that the people on the ground are going to suffer? That is the mistake that we are making. And I think anybody also should get to court if
Mhm.
it goes the way I'm seeing it going to go, and
Mhm.
also penalize so
Mhm.
that the court can also penalize these particular candidates,
Yeah.
because they're going to waste time for the people. The people will not experience development just because of the bad behaviors that
Mhm.
probably they ought to have, walked away from.
Mhm.
So I can tell you for free, it is not going to be easy. It is a
Mhm.
serious litmus paper for the IEBC. And
Yeah.
whatever we are going to witness here
Mhm.
probably might be the replica of what we are going to witness in 2027 general election.
All right.
Therefore,
Mhm.
IEBC has to be keen. If they
Mhm.
want to be trusted by the opposition,
Mhm.
if they want to be trusted by the people of Kenya, then they have to do their best in ensuring that the elections are free, fair, and verifiable.
Okay, thank you so much, especially Makobura, for elaborating that. But let me take this opportunity to say, Jared Otiedo K, habari gani kaka? Naona we ni kameramani, kuja utusaidia hapa kudirect some of our shoots, Mr. Jared. Kuja naona you have a very nice camera. Just come and assist us to direct some of our shoots. Thank you so much. So Makobura, this is what the litmus test that especially for IBC they're going to face. I think the first one, this is going to test them, especially for the 2027 general election. Are they capable of handling the stress test, yeah, of 2027? Because we know from the previous by-election, especially the one we mentioned in Mbere and Malava and the previous one, we saw a lot of complaints, especially, and a lot of bribery, intimidation, and all that, So this is also going to test them. What are they going to do differently, especially compared to the previous by-election that they've conducted? Are things going to be the same? I think going to um, change a little bit. You talk about free, fair, and verifiable election. Will they meet the target, especially for Kenyans, especially now when they will be verifying, or the Kenyans um, will have complaints about it. Then another thing for IBC that is a litmus test for them is about trust. Are Kenyans going to trust you with the work that you're going to do to Olkalao tomorrow as people vote? And are you going to build that public trust with the voters, so that everything that you're doing is going to be true. I was listening to one of the commissioners that was saying that based on the resources that were being given by the government, to some extent, it was not a bribery. But like, there are quite a number of people who have different views and different comments concerning what she made. That those are not a bribery. And the question is, why was all this happening only when the election was taking place? So that is something that IBC will have to 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 show Kenyans, and also an example of the issue of bribery that we've talked about. So now let's come to President William Ruto, especially. What is this going to test, especially as President William Ruto? Earlier, I mentioned to you, Makobura, that President William Ruto, if you look at the voting pattern in 2022, especially from that region, especially President William Ruto really got a good number of. Hey, Penina Anindo. How are you doing, Penina? Welcome to the podcast. This is Brother Benson Media and also Kikao na Sauti. So we are looking at what is this going to test for President William Ruto, especially. To me, maybe before I give you an opportunity to say what does this one mean for President William Ruto, especially one of the tests that this election especially is going to reveal to us is about the popularity of the president. Remember, with all that happened in Mbere North, all that President William Ruto was able to, his political party or his member of parliament was declared the winner. And that one politically, it was suggested that it still shows that President William Ruto still has popularity amongst the Mount Kenya or in that region. What about this? Is it going to reflect the same? Can you just please share with us about what this litmus test is going to prove about President William Ruto?
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to as well acknowledge the names that you've mentioned at the comment section, not forgetting a good friend Judith, who is over here watching, and allow me to acknowledge the presence of Penina and as well as Jared. Thank you so much for finding time to join us this evening. Over here, we do say that your opinion counts. So wherever you're watching us from, you can give us your views. You can give us your take on the matters that we are having a discussion on this evening. I want to I want to give my view on the question that you've asked, and I want to put it this way. The by-election that is, which is happening tomorrow
Yeah.
in Kalou would
Mhm.
be, it is a litmus test. Just like it is for Iebc, it is for the president's party, that is the UDA. It is again for the DCP party. So the two political parties, one led by the president, who is William Samoei Ruto, that is the UDA. It is a litmus test for UDA because UDA has to come out and prove to the people of Mountain that they are still relevant in the field of politics, that is in the Mount Kenya region. They still have support base. That would then reflect possibly what will happen in 2027.
Mm.
On the other side, regarding Gachagua's team, that is the DCP, it is also a litmus test.
Mm.
Remember, regarding Gachagua was
Mhm.
elected together with President William Samoei Ruto. Along
Yeah.
the way, they had serious disagreements, and that disagreement led to what we can call impeachment.
Yeah.
That impeachment happened. Rigathi Gachagua has come out not once. He's coming out to be an alternative of President William Samoei Ruto. He's coming out to remind the people of Mount Kenya that the president is not politically associating with them in a positive manner.
Yes.
He's coming out to convince the people that they made a mistake. So what we want to see in this particular by-election is if the so-called the people of Mount Kenya that he claims to
Mhm.
be the leader of would follow him.
Yeah.
Follow him in the sense that they would vote for his candidate who is also vying for that particular seat.
Yeah.
So in whichever way, if it goes for the UDA, it would be a typical way of UDA, still reminding the people of the Republic of Kenya and the people of Mountain that they are still intact, that
Yeah.
they still have their support base, and that
Mhm.
whoever wants to join UDA or those people who ran away from UDA should
Mhm.
then possibly come back to UDA with them probably telling them that we are still relevant and we are still going to make it or to defeat any political party within that particular area.
Okay.
Similarly, to the
Mm.
UDA side, I mean the DCP side,
Mm.
Rigathi Gachagua, should his candidate win, he would come out to say that, well, you saw what the government did. The whole government came, the whole projects came. But despite the all effort that were placed in that particular constituency with the
Mhm.
government, with
Mm.
all the development that they brought at that particular point of campaign,
Yeah.
he is still defeated. And that would
Mm.
then mean to him and to the people of the mountain that he is the king.
Mm.
He is the kingpin of the Mount Kenya region. And that possibly again would make him more powerful
Yeah.
as the
And
political maker or the
mm.
decision maker of all the political matters within the Mount Kenya region. So it is a
Yeah.
do or die for both sides because
Yes.
they all want to make it relevant to the people and
Mm.
the world. I mean, and the citizens of the Republic of Kenya that they are still relevant.
Mm.
Whichever side it goes,
Mm.
that side would have a positive, will get a certain support base.
Yeah.
Was partly silent. They were confused. Which side should we go? There are those people that
Mm.
they just want to associate with the winning or with the people who are relevant or with the people who are famous. So that silent voter would then get to the side that will win. That would be a positive for the for whoever or whichever
Yeah.
side will win.
And as you talked about, this is going to be a supremacy battle. I've always had this opinion, especially when I'm looking at Mount Kenya, to be like a battleground. When you talk about battleground, is a ground that everybody can grab, a ground that do not have the original owner, like what we are seeing in politics. Look at how the government has really, really, really invested in the by-election that is going to take place tomorrow at all Kalou, all the resources that government has put in place. And the reason why this one is happening is that President William Ruto is trying by his level hard to make sure that he maintains the constituency or the constituents that voted for him in 2022. And how do you do that? You do that by providing them with goodies, and by providing them with goodies, and this one just to demonstrate to them that I, your president, whom you voted, still have you at heart. And also we have Rigathi Gachagua, who feels that I'm the person who mobilized for you, and I'm the person who made you to become the president. And this was because of the people that I had, and now I'm taking my people, and they're not going to vote for you. So I would just want to tell you or send a strong warning to you that no, you are not going to win here again. I'm the kingpin. And there's also another angle that we are looking at it. When you look at the another litmus test, especially for UDA and President William Ruto, is about Kindiki. If, for instance, the UDA wins this will be a validation, especially on Kithure Kindiki as one of the strongest Mount Kenya kingpin, because like he's the second in command, because he was brought in to replace Rigathi Gachagua. So it means if they win, it will mean this that the people of Mount Kenya maybe has more faith in Kindiki as compared to the replaced deputy president. I don't know whether that one can be looked that way. Unmute.
Yes, there's that possibility. Remember, there has always been a serious struggle, political struggle between
Mm.
Rigathi Gachagua and Professor Kithure Kindiki.
Yes.
Kithure Kindiki has not been accepted by the people of the Mount Kenya region. And these are things that we've witnessed. We've
Yeah.
seen a consistency where he's trying his level best to get to the ground. He's trying his level best to get to the on the picture. He's trying his level best to politically align with the thinking and the political scenarios that are currently in the Republic of Kenya. It
Yes.
has not really gone his way, but again, should the DC, I mean, should UDA
Mm-hmm.
get its way out, should they win,
Yeah.
it will positively it would be a positive thing for Professor Kithure Kindiki
Kindiki. Yes.
because he'll come out together with his support base and say that, yes, we did it. And
Mm-hmm.
that would be a declaration that partly or probably he has been accepted by the people of the Mount Kenya region.
Yes.
And again, remember, it might then give him an upper hand again. We are going for another election
Yes.
where President William Samoei Ruto is seeking for his re-election.
Yeah.
Whoever is going to elect or to appoint as the deputy president is still not known. It is still a debate. It is still a debate that quite a number of people's names have been brought forth, whether
Yeah.
it is Wanga, whether it is Oburu, whether it is Professor Kithure Kindigi, whether it is Anne Waiguru, and so many others. It
Mm.
is still a race, the race that is still on. So if this goes the side of UDA, probably it might be a bargaining reason for Professor Kithure Kindiki and
Mm.
probably with his close allies or supporters as a way of him being made to retain the position of the deputy president. So, in whichever way, I know they are going to do a lot. Even like they've always said, you've
Mm-hmm.
had members of parliament saying that
Yeah.
even if it means going to a rig, we
Mm.
will do it. You've
Yeah.
heard them saying that, making those
Mm.
comments.
Yeah.
That is what I'm seeing. In
Mm.
whatever is going to happen, these people are going to rig this election. That is what you should wait and see.
And and
These
and,
are
and
comments that we've heard from leaders, we've heard from cabinet secretaries, we've heard from senators, we've heard from
mm.
members of parliament, we've heard from governors. This is a do die by election, not
Mm.
similar to the other ones that we've seen.
Mm.
That is the reason why you saw quite a massive investment from the government side.
Mm.
That is the reason why you saw all the machineries. You saw even member of parliament Kinasudi were also in
Ehe.
that particular place. What does that
Nilimwona
tell
alikuwa
you?
amekaa chini akapatiana pesa hapo kwa vijana, alikuwa amebeba mtoto mwingine mchanga hivi.
Yes, what does that tell you? It is not going to be a joke. They
Mm.
cannot spend all that money and then possibly just let it. We've seen from the rogue comments we've had from the government side, it tells you that they're not going to put or to play with that particular by election in that particular place.
And
So they
okay, go ahead.
we should expect there might be a serious confrontation in that particular place.
Mm.
And
And
again, remember the Iebc is coming out to say that they are going to use electronic machineries. That there is no, from what I saw, unless it was changed or unless it was
yeah,
a
yeah.
fake.
What electronic?
I saw them saying it's not going to be a physical by election. I don't know which
No,
kind of yes they're going to use.
there's something that we need to understand here, Makobura, especially when it comes to our election. We've not reached a point whereby we can vote electronically. Our voting is still manual. Yeah, so somebody can correct me on that. We still vote manually. What usually happens with our election is that you are being identified electronically, but when you vote manually. For identification is you identify electronically. You go there, put your prints on the KIMS kit, then they will identify you. Then you will be given papers to vote. You vote manually, we count manually. We don't count electronically because, like, in the developed world, when it is manual, when it is electronic, you get
Okay,
identified electronically.
this is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
That the IEBC is the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission
Mm-hmm.
is using an all digital voter register and
Mm-hmm.
Kenya integrated election management systems, that is
Mm.
schemes, for electronic voter identification in all Kalau by election. There
Yes.
will be no manual printed voter registers used during the process.
Yes, that is true, because the manual voter printed during the process is just to identify you. Because if you have that manual, in case if you are not identified electronically, you can go to the voters manual, then they read your name, then they cancel it and say that, okay, you voted. So maybe they're not going to use it. But what is the backup? Because we've always witnessed a situation whereby the KIMS kits are not working or cannot uh, access internet. How are they going now to identify, or you're just going allowed to vote? Those are the questions. If you do not have manual, what are the backup plans? Yeah.
Yeah, so like I was reading over here that this is from the IBC's uh, website,
Mm.
that this is a statement that they did release, that the commission wishes to inform the nation that all preparation for the by-election scheduled for Thursday,
Yeah.
16th July 2026, to
Uh-huh.
fulfill the position of a member of parliament, a member of National Assembly of Olkalau constituency in Nyandaro County, are progressing as planned.
Mm-hmm.
All registered voters in Olkalau constituency must present their national identity card or valid passport on polling day,
Yeah.
as this remains the primary identification documents required for voting.
Yes.
The registrar of voter for the for the all Kalau constituency by elections remain secure. Claims that the register has been manipulated are false, misleading, and unsupported by evidence. The commission condemns such misleading claims and urges all stakeholders to refrain from spreading misinformation and
Yeah.
disinformation. Polling
Okay.
station will be opened at 6, closes at 5, where yeah, that is the press that they did release this evening.
Yeah. So but like what I know is that like we I people will be identified electronically, then we will be voting. The people of Olkalau will be voting manually, and even the counting will be manually. So if they have to transfer maybe the results, they will use electronically. They will use electronically vote, transferring of the results. But what we have to agree, Makobura, is that our voting system, until now we are speaking, we are not voting electronically. We still vote manually. The only difference from previous years is that now we are being identified electronically. So we are not going to so that is something that we have to agree on. So and maybe just to mention, especially for the all Kalau people, this is what I would say for all Kalau people. It is a good opportunity that has provided himself, that you people can defend democracy. You know, and you can defend democracy by voting democratically, whoever you want, but you demonstrate it in a very peaceful way. you know let let you not be coerced, let you not be bribed. Exercise uh, um, your mandate peacefully and make good judgment. At the end of the day, this is what happens. This one goes beyond what is happening between these two political parties, because like Makubura, if you look at what is happening in Olkalau, it is not about the personalities. Do you know that if you talk about or you have a conversation with the majority of people who are in Olkalau, a good number of them do not even know the candidates that they are voting for. They know the parties. It is about UDA and DCP. It is the party context here. The party are fighting here. They want to know who is popular, because DCP is trying their level best to make sure that they killed the popularity of President William Ruto in the area. President William Ruto and his party has also uh, invested massively, especially in that by-election. Especially, I've never seen, especially in by-election, that the government has really, really invested, and I don't think we will see that, uh, especially that kind of investment. Because what makes it even funny, Makobura. Remember, in the olden days when by-election was taking place, nobody would know that there was a by-election. Nobody would know. But look at what is happening in Kalou. The boats that were given, the mattresses, the gas, all the tablets and all that. And this tells you one thing again, Mr. Makubura, maybe before you add something. It tells you how President William Ruto values, especially the votes from Mount Kenya. Because I tend to disagree with people who are saying that President William Ruto does not care about Mount Kenya votes. He does, because he knows what those numbers means, especially when it comes to election. And that's why, for instance, he has invested on this by-election. I don't think he has invested in the person who is vying for that election. No, I think he has invested on the party, the popularity of the party. That's what I think. Maybe your take.
I want to say that by elections, especially the ones that are leading, the ones that are headed towards the general elections, and in a times when leaders are seeking re-election,
Yes.
they've always done a lot. They've always invested much. They've always, worked in a way that they want to thump the authority. They want to convince the people that they are loved.
Yeah.
And that is why they will spend a lot of money. That is why they will spend all the resources, everything at their disposal. That is when now you'll come to get to understand or to hear or to learn of the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know or to understand how deep state work, then wait for the by-elections which are happening in the first towards the last circle of the first term of a president.
Yeah.
You know, it's part. It's a way of partly faking that we are loved. It's a way of partly faking that we
Mm.
still belong here. It is a way of partly showing that you still have authority. And again, they do it to this maximum as a way of, should anything happen negatively along the way,
Mm-hmm.
they will partly have a reason to say that we did this, we did this. It is
Mm-hmm.
a smart way. Let me give you a clear way of describing this. This is a smart way of preparing yourself for rigging. This
Mm.
is what is happening when government work in a very funny way, that if you are not keen, you'll never get how they operate. Whenever government wants to do something that is not right, they will
Mm.
confuse the people, they will take the attention, and they will ensure that whatever is on the ground is a
Mm-hmm.
confusing moment. They simply create a confusion. That is why you've always seen that in the Republic of Kenya, whenever government wants to do something serious, they have to sponsor some bloggers to start diverting the minds of the people. That is what is happening. You want to do it in a way that, should there be, or whatever they're planning to do,
Yes.
they are going to do it, yes, but they have toxified the minds of the people. They have created an environment, a confused environment, where people are saying, probably people are going to vote because of this. That is how governments operate.
Mm.
And that then sets an environment where bad things are then going to happen. That is what we should expect as a people.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
I, I was
at
I was
times,
I was just
yes.
watching some interview with the bench. where Governor Wanga of Homa Bay is saying that Orengo and Sifuna carried on goons to Kisumu to attack them for national relevance. That is Wanga saying that. I don't know how true that is.
And that is part of the issue, or what then makes me to question the political class.
Mm.
People have died, bad things we've seen. Did you see people carrying pangas, machetes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, spears? Did you see that? In
Mm.
21st century, we are witnessing that in Kisumu, of all the people, Kisumu, of all the places. It is, it tells you how we've gone low, and how, I love, I love the comments of Professor Anyang Nyong'o
Mm-hmm.
on what he was saying about that particular incident. He partly said that it is so bad, it is so this, it is dehuman that we still have leaders in this generation that would come out to bribe the youths to
Mm-hmm.
get on the street to do a similar thing that they saw in Kisumu. I think
But
it was not
this is now my question. If for instance, because like here we are not siding with anybody, because these are lives that are lost, and this is a town that everybody and investors would want to come to Kisumu, because one of the things that the issue that is happening in Kisumu does, first of all, it scares the investors too. It interferes with the economy of the area, especially the CBD. But if the governor knows very well that it is Sifuna and James Orengo, the way she claims, then why can't you? What is barring, especially the relevant authorities, from
that is the question. That is the
arresting them?
question. Kisumu, Nyong'o did say that he has taken time to develop Kisumu. He has taken time to do whatever he has done in Kisumu.
Yeah.
And it is not right that some politician would simply make a decision of to do or to bribe people to do whatever they did.
Mm.
And then the comments of Wanga then brings me to this question. Wanga is one of the most powerful leaders, not just within the Luo land. He's also recognized even nationally
Yeah.
as a serious leader.
Hmm.
And being that she's part of the Luo land or Nyanza region,
Hmm.
what makes it tough that with her as the governor and having closer connection with the government in power, what makes them tough to arrest and to apprehend the people who planned this?
Yeah. If
Pius Omondo is
uh,
coming from Luo Nyanza. If truly whatever is happening in Kisumu is true that it was done by these political leaders from the opposition side, as the son of the soil, what makes him what makes it so tough for him to
yeah. Sometimes I tend to have a different thought, especially with our leaders, on how they appear to be very relevant. Remember, we are talking about the lives that are being lost, and if life is lost, it has not happened once. These leaders who came here, Orengo is a leader from the Luo Nation, and if he's indeed that is what he can do according to Muesh, then why can't they have a talk and say that we are going to have this? We are having this conversation and say that, okay, you are liable for this. We should not do this. Why can't we have a conversation and allow each and every person to come to the city, whether you are a two-term or no term, but a situation whereby these young men are being hired and they end up losing their lives, then we build for them houses, or we buy coffin for them. It doesn't make sense at all. And I think, like, it is high time we came to our senses and we wake up, especially the young people. Yeah, you cannot survive with that for the rest of your life. Remember, these regimes, they do change. Today you might be having privilege to work with these politicians who are very powerful. The next time they might not be in the leadership. What will happen to you and your family? So tukue waangalifu zaidi sana sana. Kama we ni kijana, tafuta njia ya kutafuta maisha bana. Usiingilie haya mambo si mambo ya kudumu. Pesa ambayo unapatiwa ni pesa kidogo sana, ambapo iezi kakufaidisha kimaisha. Ni pesa ya siku moja, ukaenda ukakula nyama, ukanunua nyama, ukaenda kwa hizi sehemu za burudani ukaburudika, baadaye kesho unakuja unapata pesa imeisha. So kwa hiyo tukue wangwana, tukue watu ambao wanajali maisha yao, na jambo ambalo labda ningependa kuwasihi, kama utapata nafasi, angalia mahojiano ambayo Mheshimiwa Mark Nyamita alikuwepo nayo, sijui ni Ramogi TV, sijui ni gani. Kuna mambo alizungumza yenye busara sana sana kuzungumzia viongozi ambao wanatumia vijana kufanya tendo ya uhuni. Atakwambia baadaye kuchaguliwa, utapata kwamba watoto wake wenye hawaendi katika hizo ghasia ndio watakuwa wafaidi wakubwa sana kwa uongozi wake, hata kwa hayo yote yenye amepata. Makobura, labda jambo lako la mwisho ndio tufunge hapa.
Okay, I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
I don't know what has happened. I'm just been logged out. I'm trying to come.
Wewe ni kama internet imekukataa. Mimi ningependa kuchukua hii nafasi kushukuru ndugu yangu hapo Ayaga. Najua uko vizuri sana. Tena nishukuru wale ambao tulikuwa nao. Jared, asante sana. Vile vile Judith na Anindo pia tunakushukuru kwa hayo machache. Tukutane kesho kwa kikao na sauti tena, tukizungumzia yaliyojiri ama yatakuwa yametokea. Asante sana, Mungu awabariki. Naona kama Makobura shida ipo kidogo.